Bob has always been kind of larger than life on campus. When you meet him, he kind of brings like his entire legacy with him into every room he steps into. I've always thought he's just like this wealth of institutional knowledge that no one else has.
Bob he loved art so much, he just wanted to share it with everybody. He wanted to get as many students involved as possible. He loved having these rooms filled with people making art.
It was a place of true love for him, love for his craft, and his only studio, to my knowledge, for those 57 years were the classrooms here at QU.
I've been in higher education my entire adult life. I've never met anyone like him. For over 55 years, Bob was in the classroom year in and year out doing what he loved, which was teaching, helping students develop and grow, whether as appreciators of art or as artists themselves. It was a joy knowing Bob, and it was a joy watching his excitement as he thought about what he was doing in the classroom.
But he really wanted to make the arts something that anybody felt invited into, and tried to work with people in music and in theater and just to create an artistic world on campus. And I think he largely succeeded. It was a very exciting time, and a lot of people were drawn to the arts because of that.
All the growth that he had developing the program, like basically from the ground up. It is what it is because Bob made it that way, you know.
We will not see very many people like Bob in the future here at QU, just because he had everything going for him as he woke up day after day, week after week, year after year, and had that same excitement about coming back to the classroom, and God bless him for that.
Bob was definitely ran in a different gear, and it was really a welcoming change. And I will say, historically, Bob was the epitome of laid back, and yet he was a person of amazing production. So in many ways, this was kind of an oxymoron, the idea of a guy who was so laid back and yet had such incredible national and international presence in abstract watercolor.
It was hard for me to figure out when I first met Bob, or even take a guess at his age. He had the enthusiasm and the excitement of someone decades younger. And I frankly found it hard to believe that when I met him in 2019, that he was, that he had the age that I now know he had. I felt like Bob could have been in the classroom for 100 years, and he would have still had the same energy and the same excitement.
He never wanted people to come out looking like cookie cutters of Bob Mejer. And that says a lot, because as a teacher, it can be very hard not to have students emulate you, at least unconsciously. And part of the role of the gallery was, yes, to bring art to Quincy that might not otherwise get here, but also to help the students see a range of art and to give artists a chance. He often had, one of his favorite exhibits every year would be the alumni exhibition, where he'd bring back an alum who had gone on in an arts career and could show our students what could be done and to put a spotlight on that person.
He's for years taught the senior retrospective class, which is the students' chance to showcase all their work for the past 4 years. And so when he teaches that class, he kind of guides the students into creating a show and showcasing all their work. And as like a culminating moment in his relationship with the students, he takes them into his storage room and allows them to pick out a piece of his work to take. So every graduating senior has an original Bob piece of art, which is, I think, amazing.
Looking at Bob's work, it's really important to understand it from a perspective of design versus subject. So we have subject or realistic paintings in the world, but then we have a whole body of work that's about abstract. And in many ways, abstract artists feel they have a connection to reality in that there's no illusion of space. There's no illusion of creating something three-dimensional in a two-dimensional place. But with Bob's work, it was definitely about the elements and principles of design. And in teaching this semester, Bob's usual class of Art 121, Intro to 2D Design, it really hit home to me that the beauty of Bob's work was about its design-centric qualities and its use of the principles of design.
you know, he, in some ways, he's just larger than what Quincy can hold. He's an internationally renowned watercolor artist, and that sort of skill set is not something that you're gonna come across. He's had work literally all over the world in an infinite number of galleries. He's a big deal, you know, in Quincy. You know, the Quincy Art Center and all of our kind of local gallery relationships. You know, everyone knows Bob. But you might not know, just in like this kind of community micro sense, that he's actually in a gallery in Italy and in a gallery in name any place. You know, it's just incredibly impressive.
He liked bringing people in for the reception, so everyone could talk about the art, could talk with the artist. It was always, you know, part of sharing with him, which I think is an amazing thing, because the arts, like any other area, can be very competitive. And Bob was always generous with his colleagues, whether it's teachers or other artists. I think that was a hallmark of what he did.
I think it's very sad he died with his boots on. And in that respect, not to mean disrespect, it was he was doing what he loved right to within the last few weeks of his life.
Getting used to working with Bob on a day-to-day, you get exposed to a lot of different Hawaiian shirts. Every day is a different Hawaiian shirt. I don't know if it matched his mood or if it matched like the current color palette he was painting with, but like you didn't know that there were so many Hawaiian shirts. It's just the sheer number is amazing.
Part of my wearing a Hawaiian shirt today is in Bob's honor, because Bob was the every day is a Hawaiian shirt day.
He's so delighted in the fact that he and my parents, who were about the same age, had both gone to Ball State University in Indiana for a degree. Bob, God bless him, not only remembered that, but he sent me a digital copy of the Ball State Alumni magazine whenever it came out. He always thought I might enjoy knowing what was happening at his alma mater, which was also my parents' alma mater.
We would tease Bob about how many of us it would take and how many days it would require for us to clean his office when he retired, because he saved everything, but he was no mere pack rat. The thing about Bob was that he could actually lay his hands on anything that you asked him about. He did know where everything was, even though his filing system was totally unique. And we would tease him that we were afraid he might get lost in there sometime.
With the Great River Watercolor Society, we do small 2x2 watercolors, very small. One year, mine was a picture, a cartoon of Bob buried in paper. Okay, so in this 2x2, there's just his little eyes and a little face and a little hair popping out from a complete stack of paper, which this, of course, is comment on his famous ability to live in the most randomly organized office in the building.
Bob Mejer was a treasure. For Quincy University, he spent generations and decades making a difference in the lives of students. He uplifted his faculty colleagues. He was a model of professionalism and determination in the classroom and out. He was a source of good cheer and inspiration in good times and in bad. And he will be remembered at Quincy University for decades and generations to come because of the profound impact he had on this institution. We all have an endpoint to our careers, but Bob's was exceptional, and I admire him greatly, as do so many other people. We miss you, Bob. God bless you. Godspeed. And know that this Franciscan Catholic University will remember you.